hot mess. Okay, so I'm super fired up, and actually, the people that are on right now are my runners, and they're the girls that jump on every single time I say let's Zoom. So I'm
Aw.
I'm super fired up, and the rest of them have kids and are putting kids to bed. Maybe I don't know. So, anyways, I just want to introduce you real quick, and then girls, I told BobbiJo just to do her thing. Sherry and I had a Zoom with her about a week ago, and she just breathed so much life into us and kind of kicked our asses. I'm like, hey, you need to do that with my team. So, anyways, everyone, this is BobbiJo. I will let you kind of introduce yourself, give your little background story, and then just go with it, okay?
Sounds good. I'm actually going to go to my room so I can say what I actually want to say. Because,
Without your daughter around.
yeah.
And
'Cause,
we swear in our team. We do. So it's okay. Don't hold back. Just let the Spirit of God take you.
yeah, I know. Right. Exactly. Okay. So I'm BobbiJo Norris. I have been with It Works Global for 5 years. In November, it was 5 years. And actually, is it still November? Nope, it's December. And I am a triple diamond. I have had my fair share of ups and downs in the business. I've had my fair share of personal issues this year. And I think last year, so let me just give you a little background. I've seen like the waves of the business. So the slow seasons, quote unquote, the busy seasons, that kind of stuff. I've seen pretty much all of it. So I kind of expect what is coming throughout the year. But last December, November-ish, when that dip started happening in winter, that's kind of when I started in my funk. And I had a bunch of personal issues going on that just kind of carried into the new year. So I kind of never really recovered from that. As a lot of people are feeling this year, maybe your business has taken a little bit of a dip. Maybe you lost some teammates. Maybe you're not enrolling as much as you normally do. Maybe you are questioning if It Works is for you. Maybe you're questioning your leadership skills. Maybe you're questioning your abilities in this business. But I'm going to kind of walk you through my year, and I'm going to tell you how you can drop all of that, because that's not healthy and it's not going to help you to success. And we're going to get rid of it today. So, start, like I said, in November of December last year kind of started. And then in early March, my uncle suddenly passed away, and he and I were really close. He had a heart attack and died, and that was really hard for me. So kind of just, I feel like when the enemy attacks you, he knows how to get in every angle to pull at your heartstrings, and he knows exactly what needs to be done to throw you off kilter. And so I kind of was never really recovered from the previous year of November and December. And then that happened right after conference. How convenient, right? I'm super, like, I'm not saying like I'm discrediting the loss in our family. I'm not saying that by any means, but how convenient that the enemy chose to attack me that way. Completely blindsided and not even prepared for it. But really, any attack, what can you be prepared for? So that all happened. And then I lost another family member about 2 weeks ago, and my husband lost a really good friend in the same weekend, all very sudden. And over the period of time from March until 2 weeks ago, I had a close family member that was tried to commit suicide twice and was finally admitted the second time, and having to deal with the whole burden of that, because it all kind of fell on my shoulders, was really trying and really difficult. And you guys, honestly, I was like torn to pieces. I was devastated. Last night on the leadership Zoom, somebody asked me, have you ever lost your passion? And the answer is, hell yeah, this year I sure did. And it's not for a lack of events, because there were a lot of events that affected me personally that then took effect over my business. And because of those things, I started to hate It Works. And it wasn't It Works' fault. It wasn't It Works' fault that my business wasn't growing and flourishing. It wasn't It Works' fault that my volume was dropping and my team was diminishing. It was what I allowed happen in my life affect all areas of my life instead of kind of separating business and personal. But in this business, that becomes really hard to do. So so that all happened Thanksgiving weekend. And I had 2 parties Thanksgiving weekend that I had to put on my professional hat and kind of go to these parties and act like I didn't just have 2 deaths in our family. And that was really hard. But I'm going to tell you guys, I pulled it together and I closed every single person at both of those parties. I was not walking away from that party without having success. And I'm going to tell you guys why I was able to do that. Because over the last 2 months, I've started to pray. Thanks to Christy, I was realizing that I was praying not wrong. There's no wrong way to pray, but I wasn't praying for what was already mine. I was talking to Christy about some of the personal things that I have going on in my life. And she said, BobbiJo, I just think you're praying wrong. And at first I was a little pissed off. I was like, you don't tell me how to pray. Like, screw you. Like, I'm not like in a mean way, but I'm like, nobody's ever told me that before. But then she said, you need to pray for what's already yours. This is already done and it's already yours and you need to go and claim it. And I thought, you know what? You're absolutely right. And at that particular moment, I needed to hear that. Now, I'm not afraid to tell you that I love Jesus and that I believe in Jesus. And I've asked Jesus and, to show up into my life over this whole year. But I wasn't praying for what was already mine. And when she told me that, I started praying for abundance in my business. I started praying and asking God, like, is this where you want me to be? Because I have a heart for changing people's lives. I have a heart for helping people love the skin that they're in. Not one person is perfect. Not one person is going to look perfect. Everybody has their flaws, but I want people to genuinely love what they see when they look in the mirror. And that is kind of that's always been my thing. I've always wanted people to love the skin that they're in. And so when I started talking to Christy and I started praying, I was like, thank you, Lord, for the abundance growth in my business. Thank you, Lord, for XYZ. Thank you, Lord, for this. Thank you for that. And I was already claiming the victory. And I'm telling you guys, that sparked something in me that I haven't felt since when I first started. My husband can tell you, like, the past 2 months, I've been a completely different person. I have learned to and not separate, but I'm learning to deal with my tragedies in a different way. I'm learning to use them as fuel for building my empire, because really we are in this business to change lives. We're not here to play around. We're not here to hem and haw. We're not here to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. We're not here to complain all the time, because when you do all those things, what you're going to get out of it is nothing. Honestly, you're going to get nothing out of it. And then your business is going to start to dip. You're going to start to see loss, and then you're going to start hating it works. And that was me. So I can tell you from experience what will happen, and you don't want that. So I started praying for abundance. I started reading a book called Unashamed by Christine Kane. And I was realizing that I was carrying a lot of shame and a lot of guilt for everything. And not just my cross, but for other people's crosses. And that book really helped me understand that there's a difference between shame and guilt. And it's not for us to carry that, period. I also read a book by Stephen Furtick called Chatterbox. And that is kind of, Trixie, go. Sorry, my dog. That is kind of talking about how we talk to ourselves and what we say to ourselves and what we believe we're capable of. And I got, November 20th, I think it was, I went to a training in Michigan, and I had already been a little bit fired up already by then. And I decided, my husband looked at me one day and he goes, BobbiJo, you need to decide, either you're in or you're out. He was like, I think that you would be making a big mistake if you walked away, but I'm going to support you. He said, you're not ready to leave yet. God hasn't told you to leave. That's not been a path that you've been directed to. But he's like, I can't continue to see you live this life. He said, either you're in or you're out. And I said, again, I was mad at him, but it was the truth that I needed to hear. So I decided at that very moment, I was like, I'm in. It was never It Works' fault for what was going on in my life, but because of what was going on in my life, it truly affected my business. So basically, I said, now is the time. You need to pull your head out of your ass and you need to get stuff done. You know how to work. You have all the same tools that Joel and Stephanie have, Denise Walsh, Cami Dempsey. You have every single tool that they have. You are just not using it, and they are. And I said, you know what? That's right. I started doing personal development every single day because I wasn't doing that. And that is so important. In this business, you get beat up. You cannot survive if you continue to get beat up without doing a personal development. So every day I listen to a sermon every day by Stephen Furtick. I love him. I love his church. I believe in his word and his teachings, and it's completely changed my thought process on things. And you guys, we're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall. You're going to fall on your face. You're going to cry. You're not perfect. And I'm here to tell you it's okay. Just get up and try again. Make every day a new day. What happened yesterday is not your today. But if you continue to carry yesterday and today, you're never going to live for today, because yesterday is already over and you're still living in yesterday. So you're never going to be able to live for today if you're constantly focused on what happened yesterday. So I challenge you to wake up every day and focus on today. What can you do today for yourself to make yourself better, to make you a better leader, to make you a better mom, to make you a better wife, to make you a better business owner? What can you do today that you can control that's going to lead you down the path that you want to be on? I was going on a very destructive path this year. That's not who I am. That's not ever been who I am. I like to be very positive, and this year I've been extremely negative, and that's not who I am. And God knew that, and He knew that I needed destruction in my life in order for me to catch a bigger vision, because He knew far before any of this stuff happened that all of this was going to happen, and yet I would cast my cares on Him, and yet I would seek His face. And He knew I was going to come to Him and ask Him to show His face in my life. And that's exactly what He did. I do not believe, I know you guys have heard this before, but I do not believe that we are in the wrong place at the wrong time. I believe this business is for us. I believe Mark and Cindy are for us. I believe that this year has been hard overall for a lot of people. I believe that a lot of people are feeling the paycheck drops, the team disappearing, the volume drops, all of that kind of stuff. But I believe that the cream will rise. And I believe that all of the things that have left are just making room for all of us who have the pure hearts with the servant heart to move up into the top 100. But are you ready for that? Are you really ready for that? Are you really going to do what it takes now when things look a little bit dark and a little bit grim to be prepared to walk across that stage holding a mic and announcing that you're an ambassador diamond? Are you ready for that? You've got to decide that. I decided that 2 months ago when I was like, it's enough. Enough is enough. Get your head out of your ass. You know what to do, and yet you're not doing it. And that's on me. That has nothing to do with my team. That has nothing to do with my sidelines. That has nothing to do with Mark and Cindy. That is on me. And you have to go to work. You have the same tools as your amazing upline. Christy is amazing. She has a heart for all of you guys. She is an amazing mom, an amazing leader. And there's a lot of things that she does that I replicate in my team. But for me, it was her speaking truth to me about not praying correctly. My husband speaking truth to me and telling me you're either in or you're out, because this like halfway thing isn't going to work for you. So I'm going to tell you what I did. Start to get up every day. I message at least 100 people every day. I do not play around. I message 100 people every day. I do that because I am planting as many seeds as I can right now, so that come January, February, March, April, May, what's going to happen next year is already starting right now for me. My 2016 is over. It was a crappy year. I'm not looking back at it. I'm using it as a lesson learned, and I'm going to use my tools that I have to move forward. So messaging people every day is number one. I add 5 new friends every day on Facebook. Who do you message and what do you say? Okay, hold that, Sarah. I'll get to you 1 second. I message people. I add 5 new friends every day on Facebook and Instagram, and they immediately go onto my calendar. Now, I know Christy does the calendar thing. I don't know if you've taught your team that. Have you? Sort of? Okay. So each day I add 5 new friends on Instagram. I like to work a lot on Instagram because for me, I feel like I can be more myself, and I have more a fitness following and not so much it works following on Instagram. So it's more of my potentials on Instagram. So I like to be on Instagram. So who I message, I have like a thousands list. So when they talk about a hundreds list, I don't have like just 100 people that I are potentials. Like the second you like or comment on my picture, you're going onto my list, my hundreds list, and eventually I'm going to message you and I'm going to get to you. Hi, Courtney. Thank you. And so I message my hundreds list. It's really like 1,000 people every single day. And I'm not getting to 1,000 people every day. So it's kind of circulates. So one week I'm going to talk to maybe 700 people. And then the next week I'm going to talk to, kind of just going through. And I bug people. I don't like to say I bug people, but I do. I mean, either you're going to tell me yes, you're going to tell me no, or you're going to die. There's nothing in between. So eventually you're either going to join my team as a loyal customer or a distributor, or you're going to be like, girl, get out of my inbox. I don't want to talk to you. Or you're just going to fall off the face of this earth. And one of those things have to happen for me to stop talking to you, because I'm not afraid of our products. I am not afraid of our opportunity. And when you don't offer that to somebody over and over and over, you're denying them the benefit of being a part of our family and a part of our, bettering their health. And you can't do that. You have to offer this opportunity and these products to every single person over and over and over until it actually clicks in their head. They're like, you know what? I do need some extra income. This girl, she's right. Whatever you're posting, whatever you're saying is going to pull at their heartstrings, and you don't know when their time is coming. So you never want to stop messaging them because they seen it and didn't respond. I do that whole delete the message, resend it kind of thing. Yeah, that's me. I do that. And I'm not afraid, because in the interim of all these people that I'm messaging, I really work to build relationships with them. The people that I want on my team, I'm liking their pictures. I'm commenting on their pictures. I'm telling them their babies are cute. I'm looking at the outfits that they're wearing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that scarf is so adorable. And so I'm not afraid to talk to them because they look at me as a real person. That's one of the things that I'm doing. Another thing that I started doing, just so I don't think I shared this with you guys on the thread that we have going, but I do a weekly giveaway, like a little goodie bag on Instagram. But I've been strictly adding local people. So all the people local to me. So even down to Chicago. So like Chicago, Sheboygan, Oconomowoc, just all the places around me here in Wisconsin. I add them on my Instagram page. I search them out and I add them on my Instagram page. And I do a weekly goodie bag giveaway. So I'll post a drawing and I'll post a picture, and it's just a goodie bag. And they have no idea what's in it. You can't see in the goodie bag. But I'm like, a weekly giveaway, like or comment on the picture below, and I will enter you in for this weekly goodie bag. And then, by 5:30, 6 o'clock, sometimes later, because I know that people need time to get on Instagram that have worked all day, I'll do a drawing. And I always pick a local person, always. And yes, I am the person that strategically goes through all of the likes and all of the comments to find the people that I want to be a part of my team or use the products. So I'll go through and I'm like, oh, she's local. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So I'll message her and I say, hey girl, you won my goodie bag, but there's glass in it. So I can't mail this to you. We're going to have to meet up so that I can give this to you. And they're super excited. They have no idea that I've just blitzed them and I plan on wrapping them the second that we meet up. They have no idea. They're like, oh my gosh, a goodie bag. Oh, that's perfect. And I just bought those little tiny mason jars, and I make homemade body scrubs, and I put the body scrub in that little tiny mason jar, but I can't mail that because I don't want it to break and then it's going to destroy the mailbox. Like, I'm not going to do that. So I need to meet up with you so I can give this to you. Then I put a wild packet, a greens stew in there, and I just explain the different products that we have. And I'm like, you know what? I really enjoy following you on Instagram. I've had plenty of girls say, you're a real person. Like, this is awesome. And one of them has already joined my team. So it does work. But it's me trying to build locally, and it's a very non-aggressive way for me to get in front of people. So that's one tip that has really been working well for me. And that I only do on Instagram, because Facebook for me, like I said, is a lot of it works followers. And I feel like people who are following me on Instagram are there's some like people from my team or like my sideline sisters and stuff, but not as many. I really do deny everybody who tries to follow me on Instagram. That's part of it works. And it's not any harm or like negativity towards them. It's strictly because I'm using it to grow my business. So that's kind of what I do. I'm kind of like a no bullshit person right now. I have been throughout the years, so I can't really. Awesome. Yeah, it does make blitzing a lot more fun. I have been not myself all year round. I did lose my passion. And once I started posting, if you guys follow me on Facebook, I started posting my before and afters of my gym pictures. And that has really helped me bring my passion back, because for me throughout the year, as I was going through all this crap, I continued to stick at the gym, and I continued to stick with my diet, because that was the part of me that kept me sane. I could go to the gym and hit the punching bag and just run on the treadmill and kind of like clear my mind for a little bit. And I wasn't really seeing the progress. I stuck with my supplements and I stuck at the gym, but do you ever have it where you just like feel super cloudy, like life, you're just kind of like a robot and you're kind of like, today's Monday. Oh, now it's Friday. And it's been the same thing every day, all day long, because you just cannot get out of the hole that you're in. Well, once I started posting those pictures and I started seeing my results, because I look at myself now in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you could improve here and there and this and that and da 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 da. And I started like comparing the two pictures side by side, and I'm like, I should really be showing people what these products do for me. I should really be telling people about this opportunity, because it is a great opportunity. It has changed our families' lives. So I denied that to my followers. I closed out my followers because of what I had going on in my personal life. And that is not fair to them. That is not fair that I told someone, you're not good enough right now because I have life going on. And that's the honest to God truth. So once I started posting all that stuff and people were like, not that I'm looking for praise, but people were like, wow, you look really good and congratulations on your progress and things like that. I was like, oh yeah, like that's awesome. Like, go me. So share you guys. If you're in a hole and you feel like things just aren't going your way, share bits and pieces of your story. Post about it. Go live on Facebook, because anytime you go live on Facebook, live videos are the first thing that's going to show up in anybody's timeline. It's not posts and it's not pictures, but your live video will show up first. So the second that Susie down the block, who you really want on your team, pulls up Facebook, and your live video from 6 hours ago is going to show up first on her timeline, talking about the opportunity. Keep it short, keep it simple. Talk about what it's done for you. Talk about a product, and just be you. Your voice matters, and don't let anybody tell you differently. Christy, what else do you want me to? Do you have anything else? Like, should I specifics or anything?
No, I've been like choking back tears the whole time. And then Sarah sent me a message because Sam is crying. And then I'm almost crying again because I'm all like pregnant and emotional. And it's so awesome to hear your story, because as leaders, like when we get to diamond, double, triple, presidential, we're not supposed to have any flaws.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be this flawless thing. We're supposed to be looked at as these people that have their shit together. And it's so fun to be able to have this sisterhood and just share things. BobbiJo and I met on a one team, one mission. And when I first saw her, she was not this like washboard ab. She just looked like a normal girl, but I was like, oh my God, she like has her shit together. look at her. Like, you know, you just sit there and you judge other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know how we got to be friends and how this developed. And it's amazing, but it's like, it feels so good to be like, I don't have to be perfect and this still can work.
Yeah.
My life doesn't have to be put together and it still can work. And what I liked what you just really said is, it doesn't matter how shitty of a day or a moment we're having. Like, we need to suck it up and we need to offer this to other people because it's not about us.
No.
You know, it's not. And we get so focused on, like me, I'll be like, oh my God, I look horrible. I'm not blitzing at the grocery store today because I'm too lazy to put on makeup. Well,
Yeah.
that shouldn't be an excuse. Either I put on makeup because it takes 5 minutes and blitz, or I just blitz without makeup. But it shouldn't be this excuse that I'm using because I'm not going to be able to reach my dreams and my goals.
Yeah.
And I only have these dreams and these goals because God put them in my heart. It's not like I just woke up one day like, I want to be a rap girl.
Right.
You know,
well, and what's the alternative? You know,
right.
really, I mean, I talked to my team about this and I'm like, okay, imagine that you're a boss. You kind of are of your own business. You're your own boss. Would you hire you for how you are right now? I mean, really, I can honestly say throughout this year, no, I would have fired myself like 75 times and been like, you need to go until you get it together and then you can come back. And then I would have fired me again. Like, you clearly didn't get it together, so then you can come back. Like, I would not have hired me. I would have fired me. So if you feel that, like, if you feel you wouldn't hire you, what is your team following?
Mm-hmm.
They're following you, and believe it or not, you know, I have felt like I don't have my presidential diamond team yet, which is why I haven't promoted to presidential diamond yet. And that's okay, because honestly, now this year I would have lost my rank.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to promote just to promote for a rank, because a rank doesn't define you. You could be ambassador diamond and be the shittiest person on this planet, and that does not make you a good person just because you're an ambassador diamond. But what is the alternative? If you do this business and you are consistent and you stay focused and you work half-hour increments when you can, or 10-minute increments, sorry, my screen just went blank, 10-minute increments when you can, and you continue to do what you need to do, you will be successful. But if you don't, what is the alternative? You're going to go work for somebody else to make them successful. And so you lose all your financial freedom and your freedom of time and the opportunity to watch your kids grow up, or the opportunity to take a nap at 2:00 in the afternoon because your body is tired. Like, what is the alternative? That's what you have to look at is, am I going to do this, and I'm going to do it well, and I'm going to be consistent? And maybe you don't promote to ambassador diamond in 45 seconds like some of the other people did, but you're going to promote to ambassador diamond. When? It doesn't matter, because you will when your time is here.
Right. Well, and, you know, I've been sharing that Zoom that Cammie Dempsey did a couple days ago. I gave it to you too. And then
it was awesome.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. And then last night I was talking to my elite team, and Sarah, can I call you out? And Sarah was like, well, I want to be double by the end of March. I'm like, okay, you're already pretty much charted for double, so let's stretch ourselves, because if we truly believe that God is the CEO of our business, then we have to know that big things are going to happen and we have no freaking clue how.
Right.
You know, and it's scary. And I do piss a lot of people off because I do say things that are on my heart, and I have ADHD, so I don't think. And then I'm like, oh. But
it's good.
You know, it can be good, because then after people have time to process it. But it's like, we just have to get so comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and the consistency and the action. And I love that you message 100 people every day. I absolutely love it. So can I ask you about that a little bit? Because I know that everyone watching this is going to want to know. So your 1000s list is from likes and comments on all your It Works posts.
Yep.
Okay. So then as you're keeping track of your people, do you have like a list of who liked your hair, skin, and nail, who liked your wrapped post, who liked your greens post, or do they just all go together?
They just all go together because I have, it's like, I think I sent you that, didn't I? The contacts list.
Yes,
Did I?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a name. You put their name in, and then I put where I find them, like Facebook or Instagram, and then like what their real name is or what their Instagram name is, because it's like -723
Right.
comma smiley face circle, like it's weird. So then there's a little section in there. Trixie, do you want to say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here. See, look at this is Trixie. There. Okay. Now go away. Stop. Sit. So in the next section is like, it's blank. So I usually put in there like potential LC, so PLC or PDT. And then if they're a potential LC, I say what they're interested in, like what we talked about, greens or hair, skin, and nails or whatever. And then there's the next couple of boxes are how many times I've contacted them, or how, like the dates in which I've contacted them. So that's kind of how I keep track of separating people, but not having to memorize everybody, because clearly it's a lot of people. And my goal is to eventually get everybody on that list, off the list, and on my team. But it just takes time.
Right. So let's say that you're messaging someone who's interested in the greens, and this is your fifth contact with them. What do you say to them?
So if we've communicated back and forth at, on some level, I kind of just say, hey girl, look, I don't know what's holding me back from trying this product. It is one of my favorite products. I love what it does for my energy. I love how it helps build my immune system. It's $33 a month. I can't bet that you eat healthy for $33 a month on fruits and vegetables. Are you ready to give it a shot yet? I'm just very honest. If they haven't seen my messages, and I feel like I'm just kind of continuously being the one that's messaging them and they never responded, I usually then say, hey, I don't want to keep bugging you, but you haven't told me no yet. I am running a 40% off special today on greens. Do you want to take advantage of it? If no hard feelings. I will continue to love your page, but I don't want to keep bugging you if this isn't for you, because there's somebody who wants it.
Right. And I love that because it's bold.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like women in our society are not encouraged to be bold, because I think it gets misconstrued for bitchy or for assertive and these negative things. And to be honest, when I went diamond in 62 days, I was executive and I went diamond after my first conference, I was bold. You know what message I sent out? And Sarah Menzing, you're going to laugh. I went to conference and Pam Soder said, enough of all this like fancy words and how you're messaging people. You call and you message every person in your contact and you say one thing. She said, are you ready? And we all sit at the, front of our seats. We're like, oh my God, this is going to be like gold. She goes, you say, have you heard of that crazy rap thing? Send. And you know what? That's how I went diamond in 62 days. I sent that message to everyone. And if there were people on my team, I would just message them and be like, I don't know why, but I need you on my team. You are amazing. I love your style. Can we talk tomorrow, please? And I did it. And then I feel like somewhere along the way, I lost my mojo, and it's definitely coming back. I'm starting to sign loyal customers like crazy, and I'm not passionate about LCs because they're too much work. And I'm so disorganized. I hate all the work they involve. But it doesn't matter because I need the volume too. So, I'm just trying to like trust the process and relax. But, we just need to be bold, because at the end of the day, like you said, we're not going to die. If someone no or blocks us, we're not going to die. And it might be a little hit to the ego, but really an ego is a superficial thing that kind of the enemy puts in our heads.
Right.
Because really, we've been told no since we were little. A baby goes over by the stove. No, you slap their hand. They go too close to the dog. No, you slap their hand, or whatever. You're constantly telling people no. So I don't know why when we become adults, we're like, oh, I don't want anyone to tell me no.
Well, and I think too, we spend too much time trying to be like, and I'm not saying this is a bad way, but trying to be like the top leaders that are in our company, because they do a lot of trainings and they tell you what they say and they give you scripts and they give you this and they give you that, that you forget how to be yourself.
Yes.
And I have fallen to that as well. Like, social media, I like it, but it's not my thing. I love being in front of people. I love doing events. I love doing wrap parties, which is why I started doing like the goodie bag, because I'm bringing my social media to me, like to my real life, where maybe I wouldn't meet these people otherwise. So I fuel off of people's energy. That is me. That's what I like to do. I can't sit behind a computer all day. I would shoot myself. But I do it because I know it's proven in our company that it does work. So I do it. But along the way, because I'm not a social media guru, I forgot how to use what I'm good at as my voice in the social media platform. And so once I let go of who I'm not and all this stuff that happened to me this year, I just was like, what the fuck? Like, either it's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Like, either people want it or you don't. And I'd rather be direct and you tell me no so that I can move on. I don't want to bug you just as much as you don't want to hear from me. So let's be honest with each other and let me move on. But if you're going to want this, I'm going to ask you. And if you say no, cool, fine, whatever. No hard feelings. And I'm going to keep on moving. So yes, use social media as a resource, but not your entire business. And that's what I love, because it gives me a platform to meet new people, but to be who I am and to use my voice in a way of being like, are you in or are you out? Because I don't have time for anything else.
Right. And you know what? If you rock social media and that's where you're comfortable, then
absolutely
rock it. You have to, and I've really been trying to tell my girls, find what you are comfortable with, what you enjoy, but then you have to put the action behind it. You have to put the faith behind it. It's just not going to happen. And I think that's good, because I don't know how you do it, because I don't really have an upline. So everyone on my team, like, I'm their upline because my upline's not involved. So for you to have Stephanie Dunn as your sponsor, I would be so freaking starstruck and nervous all the time that I was doing the wrong shit. I would hate it. Like me, I can fuck up all day long and it doesn't matter because no one's talking to me or watching me or asking me. I don't even think my sponsor follows me on Facebook.
Well, Steph isn't the type of person who's like, oh, you did that wrong. Oh, you're doing this wrong. She's definitely there for you if you have questions and you need help, but she's not a hand holder.
Right.
And I think for too long, I've been trying to hold my team's hand, and I should have just looked at her example. And, this is going to sound super selfish, but it's the honest to God truth. My time is valuable. If you break up your paycheck in a 40-hour work week and see how much you get paid per hour, I do not want you wasting my hour if I'm getting paid $13 an hour. My time is too valuable to sit here and talk you out of a hole and to give you advice on how to do things when you don't even plug into the Monday night phone call.
Right.
Like, when you do that
week after week after week.
Exactly.
Time to time, it's one thing, but the same. Yep.
Right. So I think that, what I love about Steph is that she makes, without making them, I guess, like, it's not like, oh, you better do it. It's like, we have to prove ourselves to her. And why we don't do that as leaders is beyond me, because again, our time is valuable. If I'm going to work with you, I want to know that what we're working on to better your business, you're going to put into action. I'm not going to sit here and talk you through every single thing all the time so that you do absolutely nothing. Like, it's pointless for me. I would rather replace you on my team than sit here and talk to you over and over and over and try to help you. And that's just the honest to God truth. So if it takes me longer to get to where I want to go because I'm not willing to hold your hand, then it's going to take me longer. That's the bottom line. Like, it's just going to be a little bit longer for me to be where I want to be, because I want to bring people with me who want to be in my position as well.
Yeah.
I don't want to drag you if you're not willing to put in the work and receive the reward for being in the position that I'm in.
Right. No, totally agree. And the thing is that you've proven to Stephanie and Joel that you are an amazing leader because they keep inviting you to the leadership weekends they do. So obviously you're doing something to get their attention when they have like 200,000 distributors.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to be more gentle on ourselves and remember that it's a growing process. And, the Duns went through the same shit that we go through as leaders. You're learning and you're making mistakes, and hopefully you're learning from those mistakes. And, we just have to remember that we are human and everything we say is not always going to come out the way we want. And,
right.
Sometimes it's going to take us a little bit longer pulling some of that dead weight. I mean, it's funny because everyone on this Zoom right now, we have been wishing. We haven't even really been dreaming. It's been more wishing, I would say, over the last probably 6 months. And we've been just like, I know you'd be good at this. I'm going to pull you until you see the vision.
Yeah.
And now we're just kind of like, you know what? Whatever. You're dead weight. Go sink to the bottom. And if you want to jump back on board sometime, awesome. But if we're focusing all of our energy and all of our attention on that negativity, that's what we're just going to keep getting.
Right.
Well,
and usually, like, for example, this weekend was the leadership retreat with Joel and Steph, and it was awesome. And I love seeing every year for the leadership retreat, I just see a new side of Joel and Steph that I really appreciate. Because they do live in Michigan, and though we're in Wisconsin, I don't get to see them very often. Or if we're at events together, they're so swamped with people wanting pictures and things like that, that I try to respect their time when they are together too, because I don't want to be like they've had to entertain people all day. I just don't want to fall into that when they do have time by themselves. So I just really appreciate them as leaders and as my upline. But I'm going to be, I totally lost my train of thought. My dog keeps biting at my slippers. This is like ADD at its finest. I don't know. What I will say though is that you get tired. It's exhausting dragging people. Mm-hmm. It's so exhausting dragging people. Here it is, ding. I had a girl message me this weekend who was one box away from being boxed in for Ruby. And she messaged me and she's like, hey girl, I just wanted to let you know that I've decided to leave It Works. It's not really for me. And I was like, okay, thanks for the honesty. See you later. And she messaged me and she was like, wait, like, I mean, do you not care? And I said, no, I really care. And I'm sad for you that you decided to quit on your dreams. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to keep going. So good luck. And then I saw her a couple days later. I think it was like Tuesday, I saw on Facebook that she posted that she's now thriving. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I unfriended her and I deleted her. And it's no offense to her, but in my thought process, like, you didn't want this to work, so you found a way for it not to work. And I'm not going to continue to drag you for it to work for you because I want it to work for me. I don't want that. I don't want that stress. I don't want that drama. I don't want even a part of that because I want people on my team that have their heart pure, in the right place, at the right time, and they're going to stay focused even when things get hard.
Right.
Those are the people that you want on your team.
Right. I mean, it's almost like a marriage, this business.
Absolutely.
You spend so much time with people. You put so much faith and trust, and you build these relationships. And you know what? If they're not going to be faithful and they want to jump ship to somewhere else, thanks. Thanks for just like making this so much easier, right? Exactly, Sarah. And thanks for just making this easier on me because this is our time away from our families and from our husbands. And we always, we have these stressors on like our marriages and our relationships and not spending enough time with those we love, especially during promotions. So it's like, if you're not with a group of people that love and support you and have your back, then thank God for coming in and pruning them out of your life.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
So
Mhm.
do you mind if I open it up if people have questions to ask
No.
you?
No, not at all.
Because Sarah likes to chat. I bet she has a question or two. Here, I'll unmute everyone.
Oh, I have so many things to say.
Are you okay if we go over a little bit or just?
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like you were speaking exactly to what like my team's business is going through right now. Like right down to like the very last piece of the Thrive. People leaving for Thrive. And it's just been the best ever because it's been pruning. And then it's just the last couple months dragging the dead weight, and now we got new people, and it's just like just signing a couple of new people ready to run. It just like re-energizes you, and just something clicks, and like learning how to forgive yourself and like let yourself like, oh gosh, it was good.
Yeah.
You had a lot of my teammates crying, so myself included.
Well, and that's, I think you hit the nail on the head. We have to learn to forgive ourselves, right? None of us are perfect. We all fall short of the glory of God. And that's the beauty of faith, is that we don't walk by sight because we can't see the things that are to come. We walk by knowing, by expecting, by keeping our mind right, by knowing that if I continue on this path and if I continue to do the things that I'm supposed to do and I continue to walk in his glory, the things that are going to come are going to be far beyond anything I can imagine. So where you see yourself in a couple of months is not where God sees you, because it's much bigger than that. And we have to walk in that faith to know that, okay, so-and-so and so-and-so, you didn't want to be a part of my business. That's fine, because guess what? They probably can't even fathom a half of the blessing that your business is going to take a hold of next year. I'm telling you guys, 2017 is going to be freaking epic.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever signed. I signed 15 loyal customers last month, and I don't think I've ever signed that many loyal customers ever in a whole month since I've been in the business for 5 years. So something is happening, and it's not me. It's much bigger than me, and it's God. He is moving in a mighty way, because anybody who has stuck around and is working and continuously faithful, he is going to bless, and I can promise you that.
Yes.
So do you have anything to say for like coming out of this like quote unquote slump, or like the whole company kind of saw just like a hard summer, but I feel like a lot of Ambassador Diamonds have been hinting towards some big things coming. Do you, like, obviously something huge is coming, but like, do you have any like ideas of what it might be, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I have some ideas. I know that they're coming out with a new product. I know that for sure. I was sworn to secrecy, so I'm not allowed to say much more than that.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. I've heard some things through the grapevine, because there's people that hear these secrets that have very big mouths.
Yeah. But I'm not one of them.
But the thing, and I'm not either, but the thing is if you knew what they were going to do during promotions, you would not freaking sleep until May.
Well, and my goal is that I want to be set so that presidential will happen very quickly after. I shouldn't say very quickly, but shortly after conference. That's my goal. And I have a long ways to go, because my business took a huge hit this year. I didn't prune, God pruned tons and tons of people, and tons of volume, and tons of people that just don't deserve his blessings. And I have a long ways to go. So I look at it as, okay, get to work. You know what to do. You know how to do it. You know where to do it. And you know what you need to do. So just go and do it.
Right. Well, in this week, some of the Ambassador Diamonds were posting where they were at, and then what happened 4 months later, and then what their salary looked like a month or two later. And I've been sharing those because, like, that is God's hand in your business. You can't go from $600 to $16,000 in 6 months.
Right.
Like, man cannot do that. And so when we're looking at our goals, and when we're saying, I want to be this at conference, I want to be this during promotions, I want to do this, dream and stretch so freaking much that it scares you, because That's where that faith comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I've been trying to build a triple leg, it falls apart on me, and I've been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to be presidential by March 30th with a 10-day-old baby, and I don't know how, and I don't really care. Like, I know.
Yeah. I challenge you guys tomorrow or sometime this week is to go listen to, it's a sermon. It's by Darius Daniels. If you search YouTube, Code Orange Revival, he was the day 9 speaker, Darius Daniels. He's a tall, skinny black guy with bald hair, or he doesn't have hair, so he's bald. Sorry. But I challenge you to go and listen to his sermon that he did, because you guys just go and listen to it. I mean, what you get out of that, you are going to walk around and be like, I'm untouchable. Like, it's over. Like, it's done. Like, it is what it is. And in a good way, of course, like, not cocky or anything like that. But I definitely challenge you to go watch that, because God sees you so much bigger than you see yourself. And once you catch that vision of how he sees you, the questions or the concerns or the doubt or the fear or anything else that is lying in your heart is going to be erased.
I love that. Oh my God. Who else has questions? Nikki, do you have any questions for BobbiJo?
Let's see here. I don't know. I have so many notes. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited, BobbiJo. You really kind of, like Sarah said, you really spoke to us and kind of pinpointed exactly like what we've been going through. And I think for me, like, you kind of like made it okay that this slump, it like just happens. And it's not just me thinking like everyone's like at my throat. Like, that's just how it is. Like, it's just our season. Yeah. So I think my only question would be just kind of like, I don't know. I think you covered a lot of good stuff.
You did. Does anyone else have a question? Sherry, Courtney, Sam?
Hi, Sherry.
Hi.
It was so incredible, because BobbiJo and I were messaging earlier today, and she's like, so what do you want me to talk about? And I said, just kind of pour into us and kick our asses. And she's like, well, I just kind of let God speak through me. And tonight, I just feel like my heart is going to burst out of my chest. Like, it's awesome. Crazy. I keep getting chills, and I know if I start crying, it's going to be a freaking ugly cry. So I'm holding my shit together till I get off.
Well, and you got a bunch of yellows on here, so you start where I'm going to start.
I know, right? But it's like, I can feel the way God is working through it work and everyone. And it blows my mind. Like, you can just feel it. And you can't describe it because it's not a tangible thing, because it's not a human thing. But everything you just said to us tonight, it's good because it reinforces my belief. Because, I'm constantly pouring into my girls and like talking to them like this, but then I don't have someone saying anything to me. So then sometimes I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm freaking off in left field and I just don't know what I'm saying. So it feels good to just have that spoken to me, and spoken over my girls.
Well, anytime I can speak to you anytime, because I do think it's important to be reminded. And I think that, the biggest failure in this business is comparing yourself to someone else. Mm-hmm. It's okay to look up to people. Like, I admire what Joel and Stephanie do. I admire what Cammie and Denise do. I admire all the hard work that, Ashley Sinclair and, even Jade Hooper. Like, I admire everything that they do. What'd you say?
The hoop?
Yeah. They're amazing people and they work so very hard. And one day that's going to be you. And somebody is going to look at you and say, you know what? I admire everything that Christy does, Sherry does, Sarah does, all of you guys. we're just not there yet. And you know what? That's okay. Because our time will come as long as we never walk away. And things are going to get hard. That's part of life. But knowing that you have people who love you and knowing that you have people who want success for you with no benefit to me, I genuinely want you all to be successful, but it has to start in your own head. You have to know that, I am going to be successful, or I am successful. And I am this, I am that. Write your I ams out and put them on your mirror. I see them every day, every morning. And it feels so dumb to stand in the mirror and be like, you are Ambassador Diamond. You are blah, blah, blah. You're an amazing wife, an amazing mom, and you're a passionate follower of Jesus Christ. Like, these are all things that I say to myself every day, because we have to remind ourselves we're different. We are not the same people you will find in society. We are different, and I love different.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that, but I have to remind myself that being different is okay. And that, anybody who doesn't want to be different with me, well, then get off my different train, because my different train is on a move.
Right. Well, and one of my favorite quotes is, if you knew, and I'm probably going to hack it up, but if you knew what God had in store for you, you'd understand why the enemy's coming so hard.
Yep.
And I know everyone's stories on this page, and we've had a shitty 2016. But you know what? Out of all that fire and turmoil and crap, that's where the roses come up out of the thorns. That's where the sun starts to shine. Like, we've made it. We didn't quit on ourselves. We didn't quit on the dreams that God has put in our heart. And we're going to see that in 2017. And it doesn't matter how it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We don't need all those people on our front line to be charted for different promotions. God has that all taken care of. He has our story written. It's just whoever defeats the enemy and doesn't fall to the enemy.
Well, and I was driving, I just have to share this with you guys because I think it's super powerful. I was driving to the leadership retreat because it was about 5 hours drive from from Wisconsin to Michigan. And I listened to several sermons, and I listened to a bunch of praise and worship music because it fuels my soul. And I need that, because even though I'm making progress in my own personal life, I still have bad days, right? I'm not perfect, and I'm okay with that. But I was driving and I was just worshiping in a song, and the things that keep coming to me over and over throughout this year is crashing like a wave. And I can just feel, like, I know this probably is going to sound crazy, but I can feel the tragedies and the battles and the attacks that crashed me like a wave over and over and over throughout the year. And I could have drowned. I could have, given up. I could have done things that would have ended my life indefinitely. And I could have given up on my hopes and my dreams and given up on my family. I could have done so many things, but I just had a vision of myself. That song that says, you take me out beyond the shore into the waves? That's one of my favorite songs. And I've envisioned myself, as I was driving to the leadership retreat, standing in the middle of the ocean with my feet on the ground and waves just crashing over me. And all I could see is God, like, just the oxygen that would come from every wave to hold me up. So no matter how hard it's crashing on you, no matter how much you've got going on, no matter how much turmoil you feel, know that the oxygen is coming from God, and He is going to pull you up out of that wave. And that then the new wave that crashes in is going to be so much stronger, because it's going to be full of blessings and His grace and His mercy and financial freedom and financial or time, freedom of time, and the things you will be able to do for other families and for your own family and your community. I mean, you've got to go through the storm in order to get to the other side. So just stay on it, stay focused, and know that the waves can come crashing, but you're much stronger because you have Him with you. So
I just feel like I got a really good massage and I could just pass out. I just love you and I love your heart. And oh my God, I'm so honored that you were on tonight and everything you said. Does anyone have anything else they want to ask or say? Or
Sam does.
Okay, so I'm gonna totally start crying once I start talking, but BobbiJo, I just need to say thank you, because it's just, I don't know why, but you just breathe so much air into me right now, and it just gives me a validation that all the shit and all the crap that was being thrown my way wasn't God telling me that I can't do it and that I'm not worth it. It was God telling me, all right, what the hell are you gonna do about it? Pick your head up and move. Like, this is it. It's, I don't know what you did, because I've heard people say it to me before, but something on this Zoom just took my breath away and just made me want everything even more, and just, I don't know what it did, but thank you.
You're welcome, girl, and you can do it. I know exactly how you feel. I was there, and I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened, but all I can say is that there was just a move. And every day you've got to take it day by day, because some days, like I said, some days are going to be rough, and some days you're going to just throw in the towel and you're going to walk away for a couple hours, and then you might go back to work, and that's okay. Allow yourself to feel that and give yourself grace, but you will come out on the other side, because there's going to be a move in you so strong that you're not even going to know what's going on. There's going to be a fire lit. I'm telling you, I don't even know. I don't, like I said, I haven't been this excited about my business since I started, which is 5 years ago. I mean, I was excited, periodically, but not like this. It's not from me. It's from God.
right.
And you have to run with that. You have to run with it. And the last thing I'm going to tell you guys, because it was super powerful. Do you ever get overwhelmed? Do you ever get like knots in your stomach? Do you ever worry about stuff where you're just like, oh God, like another thing? Or do you ever feel the attacks? Well, I'm going to tell you, when Jesus took the disciples out onto the boat and the waves were crashing into his boat and the disciples were freaking out, they were like, oh my gosh, we're going to die. Why did he bring us out here? I mean, I could just imagine, because we feel like that in life sometimes. Like, why are we in this storm, Lord? Why are we going through this? I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's not comfortable. I'm losing money. I can't pay my bills. My rent isn't paid. My food, I don't have enough food on the table. Like, we go through these storms in life. The disciples went to wake up Jesus, and Jesus was a little irritated. He was like, ye of little faith. That's what he told them. And he wasn't mad at them because they woke him up. He was mad that they didn't trust that he had their back. And he looked at the storm and he said, be still. And that's all. And they were enamored, because they said, even the clouds and the storm have to obey him. That same power lives in you. When you get worried, when you have knots in your stomach, when things start to overwhelm you, you look at that and you say, be still, whatever it is. And eventually, day by day, that little thing that tries to attack you is going to start going away, and your focus will start to shift otherwise. But you've got to take control over that, just the same way that Jesus did. You have that power. Now you have to live with that.
Right. Well, and the thing is, Sam, is I know that this Zoom tonight, God is orchestrating this, because Sarah messaged me the other day and said, pray over my team. And I said, I do every day, multiple times a day. I pray over everyone's teams. And I was praying all day today, like, speak through BobbiJo to us and what my girls need to hear and what's just going to just fill them up and fuel them. And if you take these emotions we're feeling right now, like I said before, this is not human stuff. This is God working through people to say what we need to hear. This message was brilliant. It's what we all needed. Now Sarah's crying. I'm going to start crying as soon as I'm off this call. I can hardly wait to get off. But,
Brady just came up and I looked at him and I started crying. I'm like, it's such a good Zoom. He's like, I guess.
But it's such an emotional thing when you can't describe it. Like, this is just, it's everything we needed. So again, I am so honored that you spoke to us tonight, BobbiJo.
Anytime you guys, Christy means the world to me. You have helped me in so many ways, Christy. Sherry, I've gotten to know you on so many levels now, and I just look forward to getting to know all of you guys we are in this together. We're not fighting by ourselves. You're not fighting by yourself. So thank you so much for having me. I truly am honored that you picked me to be with you tonight.
Oh my God. Thank you. The honor is all ours. But before everyone gets up, I want to take a photo. So everyone needs to look. I don't freaking know how to do this. Is everyone looking and smiling? I don't even know. I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking at my monitor. Okay, yeah, I got it. No, seriously. Okay, I'll stop the recording. Thank you